Welcome to the video on how to use the CNC machine, also known as the Carbide 3D. There are two different applications you can use to create with your software. We're going to start with the simplest one, which is the Carbide Create. There also is the Mesh Cam. So you're going to want to make this full screen, and the book gives you really good step-by-step instructions, but you can just come up to the tool gear item up here, and you have to tell it what size your material is. Now there are some measuring tapes in the black cabinet that you can measure to see what size yours is. I happen to know mine's 7.5 by 7.5. I'm going to read down through all of this. I know that I have this thick of wood. That's what my Z-axis will be. My material happens to be a soft wood, but if you click on this, you see you have a variety of things that you can choose from. And I want to go ahead and clear out anything else that could potentially be in there before I get started. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Then I can begin designing. I can draw shapes on. I can also draw text. Just a word of caution with text that it's going to cut the contour of the text or the outside edge of the text always. So it's going to be really hard to get a lot of letters and get them to really show clearly. And I'm going to go ahead and go to import, and because it's a cloudy day when I'm doing this, I want to put a sunshine on mine. And I'm going to try to cut a fairly simple looking sun. So let's go with this one right here. Now I can manipulate this and move it around as I want to. It's also fairly small. So down here I could flip it and reorganize everything like that, but I want to go ahead and make it a little bit bigger because you can see it's only like 1.6 inches. So let's go ahead and we'll make that a 4-inch, and obviously it keeps it in proportion. So I can go ahead and resize it. Now notice it's going off the edge. You also don't want it to cut really close to the edge of the wood or it will chip off. So I'm going to go ahead and select the whole thing to move. Maybe. Undo. I'm going to select the whole thing to move. There, I got my node. Oh, I selected everything but that one little piece. Let's see if I can get that to select and manually move this one. Okay, and it's approximately going to go there. I'm not going to worry about it too much. So now I'm going to tell it what I want to cut. I have to just decide what my toolpath is going to be. So I'm going to select my center, and I'm going to want it to be a little bit deeper. So in my toolpath, I have 3 options: contour, V-carve, or texture. And they're laid out really clear in the book, so you can see what they're going to do. But the contour obviously is going to go around the edge. I need to know what kind of tool I have in. It is on top of the machine. I happen to know the machine I'm going to be using does have the 101 ball bit in it. That's a 1/4 inch deep. And so I'm going to just leave it at this. I could maybe change it. I want a pocket one maybe. And we'll see what that's going to look like. And I'm just going to call this center. And my maximum depth, that's going to be way too deep. I'm going to change it just so it's 1/8 of an inch. Oops, 1, 2, 5. And that's what my center is going to look like. Now I want to select all of these, and I'm pretty sure I can select all of them together and make them all one path. To select them all together, I'm holding down on the control key and able to select them all. And in this case, I want to make these texturized. And again, I know what size that I have here. My minimum depth, the maximum depth, yep, those look pretty good. And I'm going to call this just texture toolpath is fine. I'll keep that straight in my head. And I can see what my simulation is going to look like. So I'll go down to Pine, show my simulation, wait patiently for it to calculate. Now at this time, if I wanted to add text or anything else, I could go up to the design area and I could add my text, or if I had another image that I wanted to add, and I can do that. Carbide Create is not the place where you're going to bring in your own JPEG or PNG image. You need to use their stock images or design and draw your own. It is a very simple program to use. So I'm going to show my simulation here. Oops, I just had it and then I clicked away from it. Oh my good gravy. So you'll wait again while it loads, and you'll be able to see this is what it's going to look like when it cuts. If you are happy with what you want to do, you're going to save the G code. And if you remember, if you've used the 3D printers, that's the same type of coding that is used. So it'll be a .g code. Again, save that to your jump drive because you can design on any machine and then come and make it work on these when you are plugged into the computers that are associated with this. Now I can see that's not going to cut that very deep at all, so I may want to redo that. And if I come back to this texture toolpath, double click on it, I believe, and then maybe I want to tell it I want my maximum depth to be a little bit deeper. Maybe I want to make that 1/8 of an inch, just because that works in my head. And so then I could go show the simulation again and see what it's going to look like. That is Carbide Create in a nutshell.